new hat on. I'm talking from the perspective of INX, the folks that run the community-run internet exchange points in the country. If you don't know me with my INX hat, that's fantastic. It means that you've probably never had to report a problem to me, and that's the thing that we get most excited about, because we're the oldest running exchange on the continent, with 29 years of 100% uptime. So touch wood, hope that stays that way. I don't have slides, because it's before lunch and you've all been listening to slides for the rest of the week. I wish they would have given me one of those, 007 mics so that I could walk around, because I'm more comfortable doing that. Ed is making weird gestures at me, but I don't understand what he means. I don't want anything from you that starts with the word hand. Please. I want to speak off the cuff because I think that works best for this audience. You know who we are as INX. We run the community-run internet exchanges, and I'm obliged every year to come tell you what happens. And I can make slides that show you how traffic is going up, but that's kind of what you expect. You expect internet exchange traffic to go up and to the right. In fact, it's a joke in our industry that we never ever want to see slides about an internet exchange showing you more traffic because, hey, this is the de facto standard. So let's talk about something interesting and exciting. There are a few things that excite me. Probably the most interesting thing, and perhaps it'll excite some of you, is that we announced last year we're changing platforms. We were looking for a new vendor last year about this time. Later last year, I missed the South African Peering Forum, but if Ed did his work properly, he should have announced that we've chosen a vendor. We're moving from Extreme to Nokia. Just for the record, the guy that went woohoo was not the Nokia guy in the room. The Nokia guy is sitting somewhere else, and he didn't go woohoo. So there was a lot of thinking attached to this, and I'm happy to talk about it if you want in detail, perhaps in the corridor, or even here if you give me the time. But it came down to one fundamental thing, really. I mean, there's lots of technical benefits attached to this, but for me, as part of the team that was evaluating this, it was the ability to say, I want to model my network and see how this works, and then actually build infrastructure that would allow me to test it end to end. And that's one of the reasons, let me be blunt, I'm still the PC chair, so that's one of the reasons you had a talk on Container Labs this morning. It's because I think that that's such a useful tool for us today. And I'm not just punting Container Labs, I'm punting the ability for you as a network operator to model your network, make sure you're doing the thing that's right, and then going out and do it. I know my youthful looks belie my true age, but I'm quite old, actually. I am quite old. I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30. And I've burnt my fingers many, many times being awake late at night because we didn't test something properly. So I'm hoping that at least this move to Nokia allows us to be able to do that, allows us to be able to model our network, so we can continue to provide you, the networks, the folks that use our network, the exchanges, with the same level of uptime that we've been delivering over the past 3 decades and hope to continue for as long as I continue to draw breath. So there's the move to Nokia, and with the move to Nokia, one of the other things that drove us to get to Nokia was the ability of higher speed interfaces. So we knew last year we wanted 400 gigabit interfaces, so off the bat, INX will be able to provide 400 gigabit services for those of you that are asking for it. And you're going to look at me and you're going to go, 400 gigabit, that's, no, it's not that big. It isn't that big, it isn't that expensive. If you're listening to Mark, if he's still in the room, Mr. Tinker, talk about coherent transport, if you're listening to the talks about DWDM, the world is converging towards the 400 gig standard. So I think that, just about everybody now is doing something at 10 gigabit. You're all going to quickly move to 100 gigabit and realize this isn't working for you and make the jump to 400 gigabit. That's my prediction in 3 years' time, or 2 years' time. Actually, we'll see if I was right or not. So that's the exciting news for INX, that we'll be able to do 400 gigabit, hopefully as soon as July this year. Gear is set to land in May-ish, end of May. I'm going on holiday, hopefully, in June. And then, when we get around to it, we'll get the gear in, probably, hopefully, July. So that was one thing that was exciting for me. The second thing that's exciting as well is that we're continuing to expand. We promised you, when I stood before you in 2013, 2014, somewhere around then, I outlined what I thought was a 10-year plan for how peering would change in SA. And I said that one of the things that's going to continuously make South Africa more attractive to foreign networks that want to peer is the ability for them to pick and choose data centers and peer in an environment that makes most sense to them. And I know some of you are going, yeah, what does he know? Well, we're at that point right now. We have distributed exchanges that work across the cities, each of the 3 large metros that we have, hopefully soon a 4th metro as well. And peers are actually interconnecting across them. I could bore you with statistics. I could absolutely pull out stats from our provisioning tools and show you where we've been turning up ports. And I thought about doing that, but I thought that it's a misnomer. The market's still in flux. But I'm excited today to be able to tell you that the traditional locations where folks have originally turned up peering still exist. They're all still there. But more and more networks are starting to say we want to build resilient networks. We're looking for alternate data centers, wherever those data centers are. We're putting infrastructure in there. And from there, we're figuring out how to peer. Some of them are connecting to the exchange within the facility. Some of them are doing long-distance peering, pulling backhauls in. Whatever you choose is up to you, really. But I'm excited about the fact that network operators are exercising choice, because that's what I believe in, giving you the ability to exercise choice and choose what works best for you. And so to continue in that light, INX is very happy to say that as soon as our new gear lands and as soon as I get back from that fake holiday that's never ever going to happen, because we're all techies and we know that doesn't exist, we'll be expanding into the, what are they called? Equinix JN1 data center. I may be getting the names wrong. And OADC's JB1 data center, JN1 data center. That's also in the Asando region. In Cape Town, we're going into OADC 1 and 2. I'm not from Cape Town, so I can't tell you where they are. And in Durban, we're going into OADC's facility in Anzimtoti, Empangeni, Amshlatuza. I'm missing names here. It is telling me it's Amanzimtoti. I apologize for my lack of geographical knowledge. So that's great, I think, because fundamentally what it does is it's giving you, as the network, freedom of choice in where you choose to interconnect. It's making the data centers compete against each other. So data center operators, I'm sorry, but really I'm not so sorry, because you need to step up in service offerings, and I think that that's a good thing for the market. And to be clear, I think the data centers are doing a really good job of doing that today, of coming to you and saying, hey, we want to innovate, hey, we want to provide something that's better for you. So long-term gain, yeah, fantastic. In this model of giving you freedom of choice, the thing that INX has always been super proud, well, the thing that INX today has been super proud of since about 2015 when we reinvented the way that we do our management, is to have a management committee that is built up of people like you. And I think all of you just gloss this over. You think, whatever, this guy is on this platform talking just crap as usual. But you need to understand what it means to be represented by people like yourself, your peers. Because the folks that get to make the decision on how policy happens at the internet exchange, and whether that's technical policy, in other words, the kind of vendors that we're choosing, or whether that is common sense policy, as in where should we be building, whether it's about how should we be managing, extending, creating, all of that happens by your peers, folks that you elect onto the management committee. Now, in about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, there'll be an election for the next round of INX community members, folks that you elect onto what is the INXCOM. And I've asked for the people that are going to be potentially elected by you guys, the peers at INX, to be available to speak for 2 minutes and 2 minutes only, because I'm incredibly jealous of the microphone, as you might see. I love talking. I've asked them to come up and give you a 2-minute introduction. I'm going to call them up in the order of the applications that they sent, but if I don't mind asking them just to line up so that you can run up quickly. So it's going to be Edward Langer, and I've left my page somewhere because I thought I remembered this. Edward Langer, it's going to be Graham Benneker, Moaz Talaria, Angus Hay is last, believe it or not. After Moaz was, okay, actually, come on. Ed, you can come on stage. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Ed. I wear many hats during the day. ISP as a day job, run a NOG as a beer job, and yeah, I volunteer for lots of things. I've been on the INX board since 2017-ish, I think, 2018, thereabouts. Yeah, hi.
Graham Benneker. I feel like I should be awarding something.
Hi, I'm Graham Benneker. I wasn't actually warned that I was going to have to speak, but okay. I just didn't get the email. Okay. Yeah, so I used to be on the INX committee 5 or so years ago. I took a bit of a hiatus from that, and so my arm gets twisted every year. When are you coming back? And I've accepted a nomination to come back. So I'm standing to come back and carry on with the work that we were doing back then and help the guys carry on. So yeah, that's me. Thank you.
Rian Vos. Rian's from Pretoria, so he's a little slower than the rest of us.
It's quite some distance. No, hello everyone. For those that do not know me, I'm Rian Vos from Pretoria, that is, more specific, Centurion. Yeah, I've been involved with, used to be, let me just say, Jinx, an arm of ISPA. Started about 2008 when the INX committee started to be established. 2015, I've been forming part of the committee from that point in time. I've always been involved, yeah, until today. I've been involved when we were starting to have discussions on the multi-site expansions, the initiatives taken from that perspective. It has been ongoing advice, enhancements, and the proposals from the back end. I'm more involved from a technical side. So the Nokia equipment that we're going to get, that Nishal is talking about, I've been part of the team to look into that, to do the necessary proposals, to see what's going to be the best for Exchange. So that at the end of the day, traffic going over that Exchange is going to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. Because that's the only reason why we've got the community around Exchange, is to make it better for the peers or other participants connected to that. So yeah, like everyone else is saying, I'm standing for re-election, and if there is enough people liking what I'm doing, yeah, you're more than welcome to vote for me. Thank you for the time.
Fun fact, Rian is the longest serving member of INXCOM that is currently still on INXCOM. He's also known as my bulldog, because if you ever get into an argument about something technical, Rian's the person you don't want to be arguing against. Muaz Talaria, are you in the room, Muaz? Muaz, where are you? Well, he's around, he's been here, and his bio will be up on the INX page. Dean Pillay. Dean Pillay, going once. Agile SP, going twice. Dean might be next door or in the room we don't talk about. And while we're waiting for him, Dr. Angus Hay, if you're in the house. I can't see where Angus, there is Angus.
Hi, everybody. I'm sure everybody who comes up here is supposed to be telling you why they are going to make a difference to INXCOM. So let me start with that, and then I'll talk a bit about my background. So the reason that I joined INXCOM, or put my name up for INXCOM, and have been on it for the last 2 years, is because I share Nishal's vision on how we should be building those community exchanges across the country. Not just expanding where we have the exchanges, but also expanding the capability of those exchanges. And I think keeping INXZA as a beacon of quality, performance, touch wood, 30 years uptime, 29 years, guys, next year's the birthday party, Taryn. So that vision of expanding those exchanges and making them truly exchanges that are accessible to everybody across all the data centers. So that segues into what I do. I run the Southern African region of Africa Data Centers, which I'm sure you all know. Claims to fame, where shall I start? I'll start at the internet. Okay, with some qualifications. I don't know if there's anybody here old enough to actually match this, but we'll have a go. So for anybody who remembers 35 years back, or a bit further than that, when the internet actually started in South Africa. It was actually started as part of Uninet, which is today Tenet, which was a bunch of guys across the country who kind of put some routers together and connected them together. You'll have heard names like Mike Laurie, Jacko, Alan Barrett, and of course Chris Pinkham, who invented the cloud. I was the guy at Wits who plugged the routers in and connected the internet and then connected to the outside world via Randy Bush's garage in Portland, Oregon. So that's my claim to fame in the internet. I've done a few other things. At the moment, I'm also very involved in data centers across the continent, and particularly just joined the board of the Africa Data Centers Association, so we can grow the the data center industry as well in parallel with the internet industry in South Africa. Thank you.
Ed has carried off and found Moaz for us, so we can welcome him to give us his 2-minute talk on why you think you should vote for him. Moaz?
Thanks, Nishal. So I'm Moaz Taladia. I've been in the industry for about 10 years now. Aim to be the new blood, next generation of engineers. As we've said, it's who's the people taking over. So I plan to bring the next generation on and introduce the young blood. I currently run an ISP, so I bring all of that experience, and I'm also a certified MikroTik trainer. So there's also dealing with a lot of new engineers, and yeah, that's basically me in a short, brief introduction. If you want to know more, just come and give me a chat and we can talk. Thanks.
Thank you. So those were 5 of the 6 nominees. We don't see Dean here, but I'm sure he's around. He might be helping out a client. Again, I want to stress, I speak about this all the time, that peering is something that you just think happens. It doesn't just happen. And for those of you that have been affected by some of the likes of some big content networks pulling out, you'll realize that it takes effort. You've got to put effort in to make it work. It's like any relationship in life, right? You can't just get married and hope, yeah, that's it, I'm done, I've got the ring, and alles is good. You've got to put effort into this. And a lot of that effort comes down to how and where you want to peer in the future. I'm a firm believer of community-run exchange points, because I think that as any network operator in this room, you know where your traffic goes. If you don't, the Iris guys are here and they can help you. But you know where and how your traffic flows in relation to cost. You know that any peered network is going to easily move off 60 to 70% of their traffic via an internet exchange point. So if you're smart, it's in your interest to pay attention to how exchange points are run. And the best way to do this is to get involved. So it's not just me being on stage going, please, asseblief, voit toch. It's me saying, invest in your future and understand how your costs are going. And if we had more time, I could speak about peering for 2 days to tell you why it's important that you get invested and give you examples of exchanges where things have not gone the way that they've wanted from really good economies because people have lost interest. But I won't, because we don't have time, and you are hungry and you want lunch. So that was the last thing that I wanted to do, to remind you, for those of you that peered INX, that the community-run exchanges are up. I wanted to thank Zanog for giving us the usual 20 minutes in a community meeting to talk about community peering and why community peering is important. And again, if you have doubts, I'm sitting next door. I'll be happy to talk to you in a very conversational tone. This is not confrontational, about why peering is important and why community exchanges in particular are the solution for you moving forward, not just in South Africa, in the region, but even across the world, and why I think we're good. I'm not going to take up more of your time. I'm going to give you 10 minutes before lunch so that you can go up, but I'm open to questions if there are any, and I'm sure there are none. And someone is going to prove me wrong just because you want to prove me wrong. No one is proving me. This is fantastic. I love you all. I lie. I hate all of you because there are no questions. But if you want to talk about peering or DNS or anything except databases and anti-spam, I'm next door and I'm happy to talk to you. Thank you for your attention. Enjoy lunch. I'm going to hand over to Portia, who may have any last-minute housekeeping announcements for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nishal.